been waiting for is finally here, our Science STAR test. We've worked hard all year. You've worked really, really hard all year with homework and lots of motivation science. So I know you're ready. So, real quick, I have some notes for teachers. Teachers, please make sure every student has a dry erase marker, a highlighter, supplemental aids if they get them, and a tissue to wipe off their desk. Alright, students, now I want you to make sure that you brain dump on your desk. Do it. I prefer you do it at the beginning before you start, but brain dump. Dump everything you can. If you don't know where to start, just start with something you do know, matter or force, okay? If you close your eyes and try to visualize our classroom where all the charts were. They're already down, so just try to visualize where they were, what was on them, what pictures were on them, what wording was on there, all that stuff, and just try to dump it on your desk. Also, I wanted to talk about if you get stuck on a question. Go back, chunk the question, okay? Pull out what you do know, start brain dumping that, and then more thoughts will start flowing to your head, I promise. For instance, if I'm reading a long question, and I kind of understand it, but I don't really understand the answer choices, or more than one seem like they're correct, go through slowly, check off yes, yes, oh no, that can't be right because blah, 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 okay? Use those strategies. Also, long questions. Remember we talked about turning the page and one question's the entire page? Don't let it stress you out. Just cover it up with an extra piece of paper or something and just read through it very slowly, one at a time. 4 big answer choices, just take one at a time and then move on. Also, if you read a question and you feel like you don't have any clue as to what you've read, I do that in class all the time, y'all know that. You see me stop and read it again, stop and read it again. I do that 3-4 times, and then you'll always hear me read a chunk of the question and go, okay, yeah, I get that. And then I'll read another chunk and go, yep, that makes sense. Right? I think through it. I think through it out loud with you guys. Just think through it. Don't rush. So just stop, clear your mind, read a few words, and then just check off little sections that you do understand and try to piece it together. Alright, last thing I want to talk about is for questions with a not or except in the questions. Remember to box it. And then in your answer choices, there's always 3 that are alike and 1 that's not like. You're always looking for that oddball, that one that's all by itself. So sometimes you can break it in categories that's true or false, learned or inherited, break it down by electrical or not electrical, closed circuit, not closed, or whatever is asking. Break it down into 2 categories, and it's the one that's left out all by itself, that's the answer. Okay? And one last thing I wanted to go over is our mnemonic devices. Okay. Alright, so let's go over our mnemonic whatever they're called. Melts. Melts is for forms of energy. Mechanical, electrical, light, thermal, sound. Those are all your types of energies that there are in the world. Next, we're going to move on. You got a sun and you've got these. My very educated mother just served us nachos. Remember how we know which one's Mercury and which one's Mars. Mars is our neighbor and we do exploration on Mars. Also, Aaron McCarty today came up with one. He said my is much, much smaller than mother. So Mercury is actually much, much, much smaller than Mars. So maybe that'll help you. Alright, next, we can thank Jonathan Bravo for this. Con. Coal, oil, natural gas. Those are your fossil fuels. Those things that you dig up out of the ground, okay, that took millions of years to make, and then you're going to take them out of the ground and burn them for energy in your home. Then it turns around and pollutes the environment. It is kind of like a con man. It looks good on the surface. It heats your home, but then it's really not because it hurts our environment. Next, Silly Baxter wears green hats. This is your alternative energy. Okay, the alternative to con is the good stuff, the green hats. Solar, biofuel, wind, geothermal, hydroelectricity, sorry. And then you have lead, weathering, erosion, deposition, that's whenever the rock is being weathered away, and you wrote it. And last, we have east to west. The sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. So, have a good time on your test. You got this. Y'all gonna do great. Just be good.